Harley Davidson's not doing so well. Let's see. This is the current state of the Harley Davidson booth in Sturgis.
Guys, I wanted to give you a look under the Harley Davidson tent. A lot of people have been asking me, is there really a Harley boycott going on in Sturgis? Well, we wanted to come out here and show you. Remember last year, Psycho Drag showed you the Budweiser tent, and unfortunately, it looks like for the motor company this year, it may be affecting them. It looks like participation is way down under the Harley tent. As for the reason for this boycott, Harley accused of going quote unquote woke by some. Because of that, not many.
Not a lot of people there.
Oh, not at all.
Here in Sturgis, South Dakota, at the 84th annual rally. Let me know.
So what was the evidence of them going woke? Was it like DEI hiring practices, internal stuff?
Yeah,
what is it?
It was basically all of that stuff. Robbie Starbuck did a really good job kind of like outlining everything that had gone on. If we look at, now they're sending emails internally, they're worried about this is, the DEI stuff, let's see. He just talked about his board of directors, which I talk about in my 1 o'clock video today, which people haven't seen yet because it's not out yet. But here's a little more information on their their CEO called himself the Taliban of climate change, and is not an American. He's a German, and he's super duper woke. And people, here's a little bit about their board of directors.
All right, y'all, I promised you we'd go through the board members of Harley Davidson. Here's the first one. Meet Alan Golston. He's the president of the United States program for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. How did he end up on the Harley Davidson board? The World Economic Forum even touts him as a contributor on their website. Does this scream Harley Davidson to you yet? And he is a big believer in DEI. In fact, here he is on LinkedIn championing the new DEI officer at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. He also absolutely loves using the term Latinx.
A white person is twice as likely to have at least an associate's degree as a Latinx adult.
Maybe this is just my hot take as a fellow Latino, but anybody who's dumb enough to refer to themselves as Latinx probably should not be allowed to have a college degree unless they major. Now let's jump to equity. Alan loves the concept of.
So this is on their board of directors. The reason he's looking at their board of directors is because they're not firing their woke CEO, who is like just everything you would expect. DEI. They donate money to drag shows, all this kind of stuff, and it's the same kind of nonsense that you see now. Today they sent an email that says this is internally to their staff, so they obviously see the boycott. Team Harley Davidson, we wanted to take this opportunity to communicate with you regarding the recent online media that you may have been seeing regarding Harley Davidson's corporate policy. Harley Davidson has been a proud American institution for more than 120 years. Barely anything's made in America from Harley nowadays, from what I can tell. They have a big factory in India, I know, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, United We Ride defines how we run our business, treat our people, and underscores our commitment to freedom. As a responsible company, we're committed to evaluating our policies, strategies, and activities to ensure they are relevant to our business. So now what they're saying, they're setting it up probably for an email or an announcement that they're going to be abandoning some of these policies. I don't think they're going to fire their CEO, at least unless this boycott goes for a very, very long time and, people can start to affect sales.
Mm-hmm.
But, earlier this year, Harley Davidson initiated an internal review. Yeah, right. You mean you started last week when you started getting... It's technically earlier this year, but
it is.
Also, it started 2 weeks ago. Let's be real. Initiated an internal review to ensure that stakeholder and outreach activities associated with the company are aligned to our role as an employer and business today. The outcome of that review will inform our stakeholder initiatives going forward. Let me cut through the BS here. They've already done the review. They already know that they're going to have to cut programs or do this or that. There's just no getting around it.
Yeah.
But they started to put this email stuff out now because they're getting crushed. You have these Harley people.
Meanwhile, one of your favorite people, Lawrence Jones, is live in Sturgis. Lawrence, take it away. You have some people that have some.
Oh, Trump's on the phone.
Mr. President, how you doing, Mr. President? We're live from Sturgis. Say hello to so the people have some questions for you, Mr. President. I want to bring in Brett. He was talking about he has his daughter, his grandchildren now.
Oh, wait, I thought this was the clip about. They do say in this that it's like brand self-deletion and that's heartbreaking. Right. You could see this. Harley Davidson has been one of the most beloved brands in America. Recently, on CEO John Zeitz's watch, they've gone totally woke. And, you know, it's not a good look. A Harley valued at $30,000 just a few years ago now is only getting $4,000.
Ouch. I don't understand how they thought it was a good idea with that CEO anyway. Here's somebody who's representing the company and who's extremely soy and just very beta. And when you think about Harley Davidson and the people that are really going to be interested in purchasing those are these gruff, masculine motorcycle riders. So it just doesn't make sense that they would hire such a pansy dude to be the CEO like that. You want somebody who's going to know the best interest of their audience.
And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like the board of directors, you know, how this soy Latinx individual ended up on their board of directors.
Yeah.
I'll never know. But here's some more information about the Alan Golston on the Harley Davidson board of directors in charge of the CEO they hired. Oh, hold on. Just kidding.
All right, y'all.
That we're focused on.
I mean, he's really giving you those vroom vroom vibes, isn't he? And this is unlikely to shock anybody at this point, but Alan here exclusively donates to Democrats. And that Mike Johnson you see there is not the Republican Mike Johnson. These are all Democrats, every single one. Him and a guy named Steven are listed as repeated donors to the Pride Foundation. So if you're a biker out there, you're still wondering, how did Harley Davidson go woke? Why haven't they fired their CEO? Why did they donate money to these Pride events that were crazy? Why did they do these crazy trainings with a book called White Fragility that essentially is a book based off of the premise that we're just a racist country and it's all rooted in white supremacy and basically everything sucks? Well, if you have board members like this, who are super into DEI, they love equity, which is a Marxist term again, and they also are donors themselves to these pride companies or pride foundations that themselves support the transitioning of children. Well, what do you think is going to happen to the companies that they're on the board of?
I mean, exactly. You know, the rot starts all the way at the top, and you know they hire these weirdos who are down for trans and kids and all this kind of stuff. And of course, then why wouldn't they hire another weirdo and promote more weirdos? That's how this stuff works. None of these people give a damn about motorcycles.
Right.
None of them care about Harley making money. I don't know how this has had any effect on the stock. Let's take a look. It's up today. But for the Fed, still up, so it hasn't really affected their stock. I suspect you won't see the stock. By the way, usually what happens is a bunch of like globalist pro DEI people will invest money to pump the stock. Remember when Bud Light was getting boycotted, suddenly Bill Gates bought 1 million shares of Anheuser-Busch. Like they support each other, and that's how this kind of stuff works, and that's how it gets invested in a lot of these, these companies. I don't care. Let Harley burn. I don't care. And it's a Milwaukee company, and people say, oh, why would you want bad things for people in Milwaukee? Bro, they employ hardly anybody in Milwaukee anymore. They used to buy local from local tool and die people in Milwaukee. They hardly do that anymore. They just outsource everything. They did a collaboration with Bud Light. So I don't care. Like the employees can either fight back or be fired. Employees have all the power. If the employees don't want to get fired, then they should strike.
Yeah.
They should strike and say, get rid of the DEI crap. I'm done.
Yeah, I think for somebody, especially if you're a white person, you're at a company and you're actually submitting to training for, this white fragility training or this be ashamed of being white training. That's like being a cuck, dude.
Yeah. Like
that's the thing. If I was at a company and they told me, okay, you have to take this training course about being white and not being a racist person because you're white. I would just want to walk out. I'd be like, you know what?
Right.
I'm done. Forget it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild. And then like, if you actually look inside these companies, like 99% of the people that work there don't participate in this stuff.
Yeah.
And he does it, and that's how it persists. So like almost nobody in these companies like actually participate in this woke nonsense, but they just go to work and come home and they go to the stupid meeting that they had to go to. They sit on their cell phone the whole time. They don't pay attention. They don't care. And that's how that's how these like woke zealots are allowed to kind of take over.